Hello everybody, welcome back to Back Out of the Case. This is Skyflight 44, aka Second 44, and today I'm going to continue to play some more Donkey Kong Land 2. Now, I actually really do like the Hornet levels now. My initial playthrough in this game, and pretty much in Donkey Kong Country 2 even, I hated the Hornet levels. I really did hate the Hornet levels. I didn't really care too much for the music initially. I didn't really care for the platforming. The level gimmick wasn't all that fun to me. But I eventually really had a lot of fun with the game. These levels weren't so bad. And then I tried playing the games, the levels, as quickly as possible. Doing so, hearing the music that entire time, absolutely wonderful. When there's a lot of good music in the Donkey Kong Country 2 soundtrack, and therefore the Donkey Kong Land soundtrack. However, some of them were not necessarily worse, but were overshadowed by others. I know a lot of people say the Sticker Brush Symphony music is overrated. I'm not one of those people, mind you, but there are definitely people that say that. But some, like the Pirate's Panic theme, I really don't care for, mainly just because I'd much rather listen to the Gangplank Galleon theme from the first Donkey Kong Country game. But when it comes to, Hornet's Hole, I never really cared for this track. I never really cared for something like Lockjaw's Locker theme. Immediately comes to mind when I think good theme, even though you hear it so much in this fucking game. But thinking about it, there's just the tension this level brings is great. The music, the build-up, I love it. But fucking hell, it takes a while before it gets to the good part. And I think that's probably the biggest reason why. Along with the actual just level design itself initially kind of made me not like these levels. When it comes to the other levels, the Sticker Brush levels, the Bramble levels, I love. The Web Woods levels, I love. The Swamp levels, I absolutely adore. But there has to be a few stinkers here and there. And to be honest, the levels I hate the most in the game are probably the earliest levels now. I don't really like the entire Pirates, Panic levels, the ship deck levels. The only ship hold levels aren't as much fun. When it comes to water, I would rather just go and do the Arctic levels, and which really isn't all that much water in the Arctic levels, but it's definitely a lot more fun when it's in there. Not to mention, I don't really care too much for the main brace levels. Slime Climb is the exception, but it's just at the beginning of this game, the beginning of Donkey Kong Country 2, start out slow for me, and I have to at least get to the second world before I truly want to finish the game. It's not to the third world before I start loving these two games. Well, the second half of the second world when it comes to Donkey Kong Land 2. But, oh well. Now, when I think of a game trying to push the limits of the Game Boy, of course I'm gonna think of Donkey Kong Land 2. When I think of the levels in Donkey Kong Land 2 that try and push what the Game Boy can do, I actually do start thinking of, well, these levels in particular. These coaster levels are Not necessarily maybe the first one or maybe not the second one, but actually I think the second one, whichever one the race was, the rickety race one, is really, really fast. The actual level goes faster than I think it should. To be honest, more so than anything else, the racing level, the kart level from Donkey Kong Land 3 goes ridiculously fast. And that one is hard as balls. Though to be honest, at least Donkey Kong Land 2, when it comes to its difficulty, is a steady climb. Donkey Kong Land 3 can go fuck itself with the fact that the fourth world is the hardest world. And there's 6 worlds. And when I went and I played and recorded the 6th world, barring the first level, the rest of them were tame. Ridiculously tame. And I don't know if it's because I've been, playing. I basically, within 1 week, did all of this. Within 8 days, I went and recorded all 3 of these games. And by that point, I was damn good when it came to Donkey Kong Country. When it came to Donkey Kong Land, especially. By the very end of it. But the difficulty just sucked when it came to, well, I'm not going to say having fun. I did have some fun, but more so, I think I deserved a harder challenge. Especially considering the fact that Donkey Kong Land 2, well, did exactly that. But, oh well, here's the first actual Brambles level. One of the you could say it's a problem, but it really isn't all that much of a problem. With the screen crunch in this level, but it isn't too bad in my opinion, because they do put you within a they do send the banana your way. The banana is the way you're supposed to go. Always fire to the banana. At times like these, where you're automatically going to be going into that one direction, it's fine. I think it works. I think it works fine, even with the screen crunch. This is no platform level from Donkey Kong Land 1. It's no cloud level. Mark my words, this is no cloud level. But it still actually has some of that. It still has that fucking amazing music. And to be honest, I went and seen Donkey Kong Land 2 played first. I actually watched Donkey Kong Land 1 originally, because I never beat it. Before I really played, or discovered really, the rest of the Donkey Kong Country series. I heard the music again, and I loved it. And it made me want to listen to music of Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Land. I went and seen Donkey Kong Land 2 that same day. And I loved the music in this film. I loved the music in this entire game. And it made me want to play Donkey Kong Country 2. One of the reasons why I could not get into Donkey Kong Country 3 for a good while was, once again, the music. The music was not all that... I'm not going to say good, because especially now that I've gone back and I've listened to it a lot, well, at least the Donkey Kong Land 3 themes, it feels like I've been missing something. It was much harder to get into. It wasn't as great or inspiring as the original Donkey Kong Country's music. It just was not as catchy or as amazing as Donkey Kong Country 2's soundtrack. Donkey Kong Country 3 soundtrack, Donkey Kong Land 3 soundtrack is actually really good. Mark my words though, when it comes to the Game Boy Advance version and its music, I still like that music. As unfitting as it can be, I think the music actually works well. And this level, holy shit, this level. I feel as if you go really, really fast, especially when you go down, you can go really, really fast in the stage. For a Game Boy, mind you. Remember, some of the Game Boy platformers that you can play. How slow playing through those Game Boy platformers are. And how fluid and how fast this feels. It's great. It's really, really good. And I've played this on a Game Boy. No slowdown. That can't be said with Sonic the Hedgehog. I've had Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and I've played it on an actual Game Gear emulator. And the slowdown, holy shit. Oh, the input lag too. I loved the 3DS version, how it took all of that out. This level is my favorite one to have played. It's, out of all of the levels I can think of, probably one of my favorite. Just how well I did in this level. This took me an hour and 15 minutes to do. For this one level. It is a fairly long level too. But this one tested my patience, and mainly because of the music. One of the reasons why Sticker Brush Symphony is so important to me, and one of my favorite tracks I've ever heard in a video game, is because every single time I heard this track, every single time I do hear this track, I calm down. If it wasn't for the fact that I've been talking to Storm, I would be serene right now. And calming still. When I was in high school, I was in every single year I had a guitar class. I had Guitar 1 within the first year, which was only a half-year course, sadly. Guitar 2, a full-year course. Then I went to Guitar Ensemble and then Advanced Guitar Ensemble the other 2 years. Every single year, post the second year, because I didn't have the skills necessarily to play the song. But when I learned this song, I played it every single time I went into the class. Immediately. Except maybe when, it was the first actual class of the day. To calm myself down, to escape just to escape reality a little bit, actually. Just to escape the pressures and, just the stress of being in a school. Actually, especially being in high school, especially later on when high school was, all your tests, studying for shit, extracurricular stuff that you had to go and deal with. Yeah, this song really did help me. Granted, there's more songs that I'm playing. And actually, probably my favorite song to play on the guitar was Chrono Cross. The ending theme. Solo. Trying that as a solo, absolutely amazing. So much fun to play. Difficult as balls, and I loved it. If you've never heard that song, go search up the Chrono Cross ending theme. Absolutely amazing. But, oh well. This level still, it's a lot of fun. It just completely gets rid of the entire barrel blasting for the most part. Brings in straight out platforming, rather difficult platforming, and rather difficult timing sometimes, and just trying to not to get hit and all this shit is difficult. Granted, Screech's Sprint can go fuck itself when it comes to the, the entire Squawks thing, the Squawks part of it. But to be honest, Screech's Sprint is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. When compared to the SNES game, Donkey Kong Country 2 with Screech's Sprint there, that was terrible. That was really, really difficult to do, and I couldn't... My initial playthroughs of Donkey Kong Country 2 were really cut short for that one level. And now that I'm just better at it, I think it's just better for me. Anyway, I have so much more fun with these actual levels, but oh wow. If you actually see me being a little bit bad here when it comes to the gameplay, or not necessarily bad as much as I'm being overly cautious and trying not to fuck up. This was the first time I actually got to this area, and it's, as you can probably guess, I didn't want to do that entire thing again. Come on. Ah, right there, right at the very end. I never actually, that was my first time getting to the very end, without getting hit. Yeah. Let's just say, I went and didn't necessarily have the best. I probably should have went back, or did something. That transition was horrible. But, this is another one of my favorite levels in the game. Again, the swamp levels were just absolutely so much fun to go and play. This one's really difficult to go and get a good, actual, run through, just because trying to hit off those neckies, really fucking difficult without hitting the next one. If you jump too late on those neckies and you continue on moving, you can damn well get hit by the next one that's coming right after it. Though it isn't too bad. I really enjoy this one. Bouncing off all the enemies makes you feel like you have power. And it's just the crockheads coming up. You can go really fast in this level, jumping all the time. It's so much fun to do these games as fast as possible. Granted, I'm never going to be doing, no-hit run when it comes to Donkey Kong Land ever again. Fuck that stupid second cloud stage. But, and again, I'm never forgetting that warp point in that level. Never again. Now that I know it, I am never going to forget it. But, there are some games that just feel good when you play them as fast as possible. And I think Donkey Kong Country does a really, really good job at it when it comes to just making nice, well-designed levels that you can either take your time in or play as quickly as possible. And I classify Donkey Kong Country as a precision platformer. A game that takes a lot of skill to do, but not necessarily too much to have a fun time, or too much, which it's not anything like Rayman Origins and it's and those chess runs and trying to fucking chase those goddamn chests. I had a lot of fun with those, and the music was absolutely amazing. But fuck those levels. It required a lot of skill to do and good reaction time. But, the Donkey Kong Country series generally has some really well done level design in which it's you can go really fast. And to be honest, one of the things that makes Donkey Kong Land 3 worse, well, not necessarily worse, but really get to you, is if you've played 1 and 2, if you played Donkey Kong Country in general, you'll notice that a lot of times there will be a, slip a chain, or a sneak chain, or some enemy that you can just, straight out roll into, and then there'll be a huge chain of them. And, one of the, I'm not gonna say, one of the traps for speedrunners. But somebody who's trying to play Donkey Kong Land 3 as fast as possible is going to be in some trouble when it comes to those chains of enemies. Because the chains of enemies generally tend to make it so that you can roll right through the majority of them. And then the last one in the chain isn't technically in the chain, because you can't chain roll it. You will, at the very end, get out of your roll before you run into it. Which fucking sucks. Those bristle chains and some of those levels can go fuck themselves. But oh well. It's just one of those things you have to remember. You're gonna get hit. You're going to get hit. Because you're just too savvy. But oh well. Now the Ramby Rumble level, again, doesn't get its other track, but it doesn't really matter too much to me. The Hornet Hole level music theme is really good, and well, you don't have anything chasing you in the Ramby part of it, but it's still a fun level to do. Anytime you get to be Ramby and just completely destroy all enemies in front of you, and you do not lose any of those stars, because you can't get back up there. Or I don't think you can get back up there. There might actually be a not a barrel, a blast barrel. For a second, a chest was coming to my mind, but I knew it was not chest. But oh well, that's at the very end of the stage now. Now there's only, was it King Zing? I don't really remember what the name was, but the fucking... the bee. Yeah, King Zing Sting. This was another level that in my initial time I played this game, sucked. This boss was far harder to do. Why? Because he gets really, really fast. What you're supposed to do is hit him in the zinger, and you know, just hit him in the back of the zinger anyway. And it's a pretty easy boss fight, but he gets faster and faster and faster. But you're going to want to just throw, spit as many nuts as you possibly can. This is the next phase. It's not all that difficult. Just get rid of everything. Now, the Donkey Kong Country 2 fight and this one are a bit different. In fact, I don't think this one has a secondary phase. In the Donkey Kong Country 2 fight, after you dealt with King Zing, he splits off into one zinger and a bunch of zingers around him, and you have to knock all the zingers around him before just knocking them out one last time. Right here, you just have to go and hit him once more. But with that done, with Crazy Kremlin done, Gloomy Gulch. See ya, everybody. Until next time.